Okay, inch scale. So we're back now. I fitted on the thermostat housing. Half frightened to look at it, to be honest with you. I can't see any leaks and I'm not really going feeling for any either. So I put on the rad cap as well. Had a look over the fuel system and had to tighten up the cork in there. I'll have to keep tightening it up for a while yet. So I'm going to try for a cold start. And then we'll see what we're going to go doing. So it'll be interesting to see how it starts cold, since I've adjusted the pin and that. For anyone who didn't see the earlier videos, the owner said someone was messing with the rack. After pulling all that off, it was obvious they weren't messing with that because it was seized. And so I had a look in there, and that was basically screwed in as far as it would go. And as we know ourselves, from when you pull the pull to stop, it pulls back the rack like that. So pulling back the rack is obviously going to go shutting down fuel or reducing the amount of fuel going to the injector. So he was complaining about the tractor dying coming to hills with a small load of turf on. So I'm after going to taking the one off my own Ferguson 20 diesel and measuring how much the pin was screwed in, and then setting that basically to the exact same, because mine was set by a diesel injection shop. So we'll give it a cold start. I'll put the camera up on the tripods, keep it well back so you can see what's going on. I'm not going to use any heat. It's cool in here, I'm not going to lie. It's cool kind of an evening. But look, they should be able to start without heat. See what sort of temperature it is. So it's 12 degrees. Turn off the charger. Half throttle. Button pressed and that is very impressive. Start as good as that, and that thing has a full overhauled engine. So you can hear the little rattle in the engine, the kind of diesel, indirect injection diesel knock. I never heard that before. You will hear that as you advance the timing a bit. So it needed to be advanced, so definitely hear it now, and that's what you want. It was too soft. The timing was too far retarded. Like, if there was anything much wrong with the timing of that now, after starting cold, it'll be up and down on the throttle and all of that. So I'm happy with that. There is still probably a bit of air in the system because I'm still sorting leaks, but I'll be happy with that. The silencer is not good quality. I would tell him to change that. It's not doing a whole lot of silencing, but it's definitely a bit more powerful now since we've adjusted that in. So I'm going to go now and put the end on cap on that, keep the dirt out of it. I'm going to top this up with fuel, the pump of fuel, and it drains out of there, and we're going to call hopefully that done. So very happy with that. Lovely. So I want to do things in order. I want to do a bit of tidying on wires. Then I want to put in my high gas tank that I'm going to go wiring straight to the 35, the Massey Ferguson 35 4-cylinder heater plug, right? It's going to wire straight there. There's no point to me putting that in there in those holes if I want to go and do a bit of tidying up and wiring. I want to wire in an ammeter, so that's going to involve taking this positive feed from the, well, it's the charge feed. Instead of putting it back to the battery, I'm going to put it through the ammeter, in one side, out the other. And then I might join it too. There should be another join there there is in the back there. That's a positive feed. I'll just make sure of that with my voltmeter. So that'll be a nice short connection from in there to over there, and that'll feed the battery. Okay, that's the plan. So let's stop talking about them and let's get going. Well, that engine head is going off there. I want to check and see what's happening here, because the intake manifold is very, very, very high. So if the level in this is too high, that would explain why. Look into the oil bath and see what he's looking like. Yeah, and the levels the level is too high. You're meant to be able to see the level on it. So I'm going to get rid of that oil and put in fresh oil, but the level there, you can see that there, it shouldn't be above that. So she was most likely sucking in oil as well, and that could have been restricting air. Definitely wasn't helping the airflow anyway. If you look up there, shouldn't really be getting oil. Should it be getting oil that far? Maybe, but that's too much oil anyway, so I'll tip out that oil and put in fresh oil. Not the worst that I've seen in the world, so a quick run in the parts washer will bring that up, and I have new oil there, so top it up then. The new ammeters in the dash there, it wasn't working. The one that was there wasn't working, it was as old as the hills. So we're just going to go and see if we can work out which one of these connections on the dash is the continuous positive, and then we will work out where then to connect. Let me get a good earth here. Some clean metal would be the best. Okay, so let's see, is that it there? Should be. It's not there anyway. Is it there? No. Something coming up there. 0.26, 0.3. Unless it's just all one. Unless it's all the paint that's on it. There we go. Just needed a scratch with 1285. Jesus, that's good. So that's going to be our little connection. So what I'm going to do is simple. Spade connector in there, right? Running it up to one side of the ammeter, right? Nice ammeter there. It is amps, isn't it? Yeah. I often think volt meters are better. Into there, and then this side is going to be connected there nice and short. So let's get going at that. Right. So got some nice. I like to keep my wires black if possible. Don't care if they're positive or negative. I think too many wires on a tractor can be, or on anything really, can be off button. So there we go. That's a nice heavy wire. Let's get some connectors on the job. So we need a ringlet. So we'll take out our ammeter and see what size ringlet we need. Okay, so we need one to go over that. So we need a blue one if possible. Hopefully that'll go on there. Perfection. So we need one of them, two of them. We have another one there. Most likely do. And there. So there's two. Sorted. Now we need a wide female spade, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a wide female one. So I always find it's a little bit short on them for some reason. If we're stuck, we'll use that lad there. There's nothing in that one. I have another box or two as well, so I'll bring them up. Another box. In fact, last time I was in a shop, I actually bought a box of nothing but these for that reason. So straight away, I like to pull off that thing there. I don't like them colour coded things on it at all. Use a bit of heat shrink on the fecker instead, so that goes into the busker booster. I'm going to put that one in there. I'm going to check 2 seconds on the alternator and make sure it is this one. Okay, so bit of heat shrink on. This is a little bit thin of wire, but it's the heaviest I have, so I'm probably going to have to heap it up a little bit there, to bulk it up a bit to get into this connector and make a good connection. But I have a little trick for that anyway, if it wants to start giving out. Right. So it's not a slit down. Usually there's a slit down the middle there, and you can kind of push them one side and then the other side. And that's how you end up. Hopefully the heat shrink will go over that. Now it does, yeah. Okay, so that's fairly neat. We'll just push it up a bit more and then shrink it then when I'm happy with it. Right, so that's okay. I'll get a lighter there and come back. Okay, so a lighter. Okay. Problem is, the wire isn't as heavy as the big chunky connector. But anyway, so then we can go and measure up here what we need, what distance we need. So roughly, so I'll be able to route it the way I want it to go. So it's going to be these alternating connections are diabolically bad. I hope it actually was meant to be big one. Yeah. It actually wasn't, but they had a big one in it. Isn't that fucking terrible? Actually a small one. But the big one slots in very well, so we'll leave it be. But usually there's a small connection and a big connection. So that's okay. Anyway, look what can we do. I just replaced what I took out of it. Should have probably been more. You probably noticed that really. There's a big ball of wires here, that's not going to work. Cotton handles, cotton other wires. So hopefully now we're not going to end up with a big mess here. So just roughly do it and cut it to length, give a bit, giving plenty there for cable tying and all of that, keeping everything out of the way. So we're probably talking about there. That should do it there. That's lovely. The bear in. The bear in now in the. I used the vise for this crack. Bending back over himself. Hopefully that's not too wide to go in. If it's not, we're winning. I don't mind leaving the blue connector on that because we're not going to see that because the bonnet's going to be closed. As a general rule of thumb, I don't like leaving them on at all. They just look terrible when they're crimped, you know, but sure, look. So this isn't going to be a concours or factory restoration, it's more just to get it working. If it was, I wouldn't even think of doing that like on the 35X there, like, you know, he was he's obviously rightly very fussy about it. Now, so put in a ram meter. This should go to the near side here, this connection. So we'll find where the rest of the wires are going, keep them all out of the way of trotting rods and all of that. Okay, there's a place down there we can put wires up through the slot. So we may as well run them up there. Run them up there. Run them in and out of the way. Now, just moving down here roughly, I'll be able to tie all that away. Okay, that'll all tidy up. Lovely. Just the right length there for cable tying away. Okay, so that's that one. And the other one now is going to be a short one from there over to this power socket there. So we'll take a little measurement there of that. Shouldn't be too hard to do that. No, we won't need a heat shrink for this either. It's all under the bars. Okay, wires. the end. There's the end there, so we can go ahead and we can fit this anyway and have that much done. Then we can take our measurement. So give them a twisties there. Nip a bit of the trawnine off the end of them there. Turn them back on themselves. And then in. Sometimes you make it too wide, you can make an arse of it. Just want to get the right amount of snugness, and just to see him popping out there and saying hello, and then hit him then with this, and then one more just to grip the rubber itself. Okay, so that's that. So now let's go and bring this wire over, and we'll just double check what connection we need on the other side on the ignition switch. I'll probably change this ignition switch. I have a new one there. I have a loaded one there. It's just a bit dry and clicky for my liking. But we'll get it wired up there anyway, and we'll cross that bridge if we have a bit of time towards the end of the project. And we're tidied up a few loose ends. We'll might just fit one. So I'll put that onto the bolt there. We're going to run them along and in there, nice and neat. So they're out there. There'll be nothing in the way here of it anyway, just air cleaner. So we should be not short of space. It's nice little work this now. It'll be nice to get the ammeter working. I like all the gauges working in the dash. Especially you're driving along there, you can see she's horsing out a nice bit of charge. It's encouraging anyway. We need a small female connector here. Small female. Okay. Small female. Again, if I make this too wide, it won't push in right, so you can see I did. That's okay. But it's a lot better than having it too loose, I can tell you. Okay. That's good. There's our connection. Nice. Jesus, focus. Nice and easy. They're nice and handy. May as well get our 8mm. They're usually 8mm. Them little nuts. Try and put you up here somewhere. You'll see what's going on. Within reason. Okay. So power in. So we may as well put our little. We have an L-shaped bracket there first, so that goes in. Take off a wire. Another bracket. Okay, I usually have to put a cable tie around these brackets because they end up going too wide. I have a feeling this one's going to do the exact same. Right. Okay. Might need another washer each side of this bracket, will it? No, I won't. What I'll do is I'll put on my wire. Put on my washer. Put on my bracket. Move this little wire out of the way for a second, okay? That bracket will function as a washer in itself, I suppose. Although I'm tying up a few odds and ends, and maybe easily just stop it turning with the nut. This will just test it. That's that. Okay. That's 7, isn't it? I need an 8. Oh, it's on upside down. Yeah, it is an 8. Okay. Little bit of a nip. Just snug. Connections are good. Shouldn't need to be crazy tight. And I'll go and get the other nuts and bolts. Right. So what did we say first? We said we'll put a wire. We put our washer. We put our little L-shaped bracket. And the nut. Okay. Okay, that's that, and we have to connect that on to our connector. So I'm just going to get a little file. That is 1930. So this is going to be our charge in. We are going to need that to be clean. Okay. Take off that wire there if you come off handy. We'll be cleaning up all these connections anyway. Everything was spray painted. Oh. A scratchable file will help. Okay, will that do for testing? So go back on that wire there, that's a power in, it I think we worked out. And now we have this wire, a new wire, to go on in behind. The same terminal, say, a few connections off it. Take it off again, see that ammeter moving. I'm not sure it be moving. Shouldn't be reading. It is slightly reading negatively, so we might have swapped the connections. Shouldn't be getting power, should it? Should be getting power from the alternator. Now where's this wire going here? This lad here. We can work out with our multimeter where it's going. Is that the power rating? That's in there. So that's power going down. How about we work out where it's going? I think that should probably be maybe ignition on, is it? Trying to get this somewhere where you see it. Somewhere. Is that possible to see that? No? I can barely see it. I'll just try and focus around there. Right, so take our out and just see what's happening with that one. Stay put. Stay put. No. That's better. Okay, so earth. Earth. Where did I say I was taking the earth from? Oh yeah. Heater plug. That has to be earth. Right, and then we want to see what's happening here, this lad here. Okay, so we turn on our ignition. There's no ignition because that's plugged out. Well, okay, we'll turn it back on and see that we have power there at least. Where's power for ignition there? And it's after, the one terminal after. You turn it on. Not there. We have power coming in. And again. Red is going to. That's it there. Everything's so dirty. Come on. What is going on? Well, the power down there anyway to the starter. Here's my 1285 volts, so we have. Perfect. Connection's so dirty, maybe that's all it is. Lights are out of it. What's going on? Power from the starter is coming up. That's power from the starter. Make sure the connection's good. Well, it's on it anyway. This thing just can't get a good earth. Let's throw it across the battery and see if it reading as well. It's not reading. Okay, so it just needed to be turned off and turned back on, so that's okay. Happens all the time, maybe the batteries are going a bit low. So let's repeat that. That'll stay put there, will it? And that in view 0.00. Right. So let's get this wire checked out first there. It's coming up from the starter, direct feed from the battery lead coming in. So should be getting battery voltage at that. That's powering our whole key ignition switch. Right. $20 volts. Why is it showing 1? It shouldn't. Better earth. I'm struggling to find an earth here, lads. Not joking. Struggling to find an earth. Okay, we'll have to go and investigate things here further. Sometimes it's the simplest things. I'm just going to put it back on and see that we get an ignition of light. What's going on? Okay. I'm not getting ignition light because it's not going through the alternator, so maybe we'll just slap that onto the alternator and it still shouldn't make a difference. It's only going to get air, I think, through the alternator. So I was actually wrong. This is the big connection. This is the other one's a small connection. So that's everything is perfect there. Right. Ignition there now. Right. So we'll say nothing there for a minute. What's happening with her? That's okay. Ignition. Okay, not doing that, and that's exactly what you want. It should only be moving when it's charging, really, I think. Remember the 35X, it was reading even when the ignition was off, so whatever way it was wired up, so that wasn't good. Okay, so again, we'll try and get her. Should be getting battery voltage here, like. We are, okay. So I have to just make a bit of sense out of this. Okay, we can see that there now. We are getting battery voltage, come on. Okay, 12.65. Okay. Ignition light on. Okay, we're not getting anything there, which is good, I think, isn't it? Because is that, am I right in saying that shouldn't be getting fed there now, which is charging? Okay, so that low reading is just all the paint that's on it. Okay. So what we'll do is, for the crack, we'll fire it up. I'd understand the ignition switch a bit better if I wired it myself, but just trying to understand what's going on there. Normally, so there's our ignition light coming in. This lad here, so one of them should be the lights there. Ignition light, that's what ignition's on. Right, let's just quickly check that, because I know from doing a few of these key switches that things can be, they can pick weird terminals sometimes. They're not always in order like you'd expect. See if we can get, yeah, we're getting battery voltage, so that's powering the light. Right. Okay. The best thing to do is to give her a little fire up. I'm half frightened of looking at this bloody thermostat housing. A bit of water leaking there, I don't mind that. By Jesus, if I see water leaking out anywhere else. Where's my quarter inch gone? I'll give him a quick nip. What's that? He's in 7. Let's give him a quick nip while we're here. Hose clip might need to go up, hose clamp might need to go up a little further forward, I think. I might just get the quarter inch. Yeah, so just move the back a little bit and tighten it up, and we'll keep an eye on it there, you may see. Right, so what I was going to say, so we have our ignition there. perfect. So an alternator, once it's charging, it should be able to put out whatever voltage is needed or current is needed. So it's not charging there at the moment, so once you give it, you turn off that, it'll regulate itself. And you'll notice that it won't go up them in revs. That's all the battery needs at the moment. So that's a nice little function, that. It's just nice, it gives you an idea what condition the battery's in. Okay, so that's put back on as well, that cap. I keep him wiped. I'm half frightened of getting this temperature up, this engine up to temperature because of that. But look, I think for the time being anyway, I think I have some bits in here for it. I have a washer and I think I have split pins. So look, what will we do? Will we just slap them on and hope? Because I'll probably have to bring it for a test drive at some point, and I just don't want to go putting on too much bits and pieces. I have to go taking them off again. As much as it's not going to take long, but just put it in there loose enough for the time being. Back one's good, so that's probably that there. That never leaked before, it's just too far forward. Okay. Right. I wonder where that silencer, I know it's probably a bit loose on there. I usually make up a little bean tin kind of a, it's not too bad. It's not the worst I've seen now. There's a big crack on it there around, down below there. I think it's probably, there's a hole in the side of it there. That's why it sounds a bit bad and it's been revved up. Anyway, that is our ammeter working. I think it's nice. It's not really like the dynamo, like, you know, the dynamo will go up a little bit more when you rev it until it gets to max charge, you know. But alternator's a different animal. Look, it's nice to have. And our horn doesn't work when our ignition's off, so that's good. Right. So there's a man go doing a bit of tidying up of wires here now. To get an idea where they want to go, I have to make space for a high gas tank at the end of the day. I don't like bundles of wires now, to be honest with you. I do like buying a factory wire in them, or make them on myself. But I'm going to have to start tidying this up. So that's our lights, don't mind that. This here is probably going to have to come off again and go in behind there, because this is going to get in the way of the air cleaner. Or we have space for. Probably have space, but that's probably where it always was anyway. Okay. This wire is going to have to come off from the alternator. I don't like the throttle rod. I don't like the throttle rod. Don't get near that, so that's all. That's an easy enough move, and there shouldn't be power in this at all. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. Shouldn't be power in that. This is only fed. It's only fed. Okay, there is power in the fucking thing. Where's that? That's interesting. I thought it was only meant to be fed from the alternator. Right. Okay, so we'll have to just take off the battery lead there. If That's positive. I think it was. Okay, so we'll go and do that. I'm going to do a bit of tidying up here with wires. I'm going to work my way back from the alternator. Battery cable is off there anyway, so we can work safely. There's nothing else to go into this little bundle. I'll just keep all of that back there. Pull it a little bit tight. Let's get all these wires roughly into place. Get that one a little bit. Make sure the connections are good there. They're good on the alternator. They're good on the snug. So leave that. There should be enough. I'll pulled roughly the same. Okay. So move our way back. We'll go over towards the solenoid now. See if we can tidy things up there a little bit as well. Okay. Right, so I don't want that touching the manifold, for obvious reason. So I'll try and keep everything away from throttle rods and from manifolds at all. Make sure it's the whole clump of them there. It is. Right, so this isn't good. This bit here isn't good. So, right. What we do there is keep it down a little bit. Don't really like that. It's the heater plug that's causing the bother. So loosen that off a bit, might give us a bit of purchase there. That's a bit messy looking now for my liking. What I'll do is I'll put one there, and I'll put another one around to take that kink out of it maybe. It's the only thing I can think of there now. Don't really like the look of it at all. It's just messy. Not ideal, lads. But look, so this is just, we're just trying to get this tractor safe and functional, and hopefully that mushroom U-bend will block all that up. I'm not going to replace some wires when they're actually working. They're just a bit too long. I'm just tidying them up as best as we can. Lift him up a little bit. Lift the heater plug up. Better off being straight down there a little bit. We'll bend them out if we can. Yeah. Okay. That's not going to be too bad. Keep them away from the manifold all the same. Okay, so we're working back. Any of this touching throttle rods. Okay, that should be safe there. That can go behind the air cleaner. It's good and it's well and truly insulated there. Okay. Don't mind that. That's going to get in the way of the throttle rod if it goes the other side. Our light wires here are probably caught up in the camera, are they? Oh. We'll put them the other side altogether. Okay, so it's just a little bit messy now if you ask me. I suppose you get that when you start putting on horns and lights and alternators and all of that. Okay. Right, okay, what can we do in there? So we're happy enough with that. This is too long. Where's that going to? It's going to our charge light. So let's pull him off there and see for a second, and we do something better with him. Bloody masking tape ever. not the best looking. Okay, so that's our charge light. Route him, he's just a bit too long, that's all. I am getting the kind of itch now just to cut him and put him in there properly, I think is what I might do with him. Or they just, you know, there's just too much going on in it. Firstly, it's definitely too loose in the connection, so we'll have to correct that. Give him a squeeze. They usually do need a squeeze. Okay. Still not that big loop. 7-inch lights and fuse. I want to keep it away from that lad there, because in case it gets caught in there against rubbing against the bonnet or in the bother. I put on that little dash piece there, you know, that gets to be even. Okay, so I've got to make sure there's plenty of room here now for I see one problem there. I put my lights are just tangled in that. Let's go to our ammeter, so that's not going to be it. So that'll free that up. Okay. We can tighten up our horn and our common earth that I put in there, that bolt there. So I'll get a 13 at him. Give him a wind. That horn was getting earths from the engine and from here, and so at least that's good solid earth there, polished up, cleaned up. Don't want it rattling against the dash, and it's not. Light connections on tight, had to tighten a few of them. Oil pressure gauge, do the tightening in there in the back of the bracket, so he's twisting in there nicely. A bit loose in the bonnet, in the dash. Okay, that's good. In she goes. That'll just fall off otherwise. Might give him a nip of the snouty pliers. Okay, so we need to start bundling things here now. So one from this side here, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'll just cut him short to hell. Don't like him. I think I'll just cut him short. He's don't like that bundling going on there. It's messy looking. It's just going to make life a little harder for me. So it actually only needs to be about that long there. Bring over the bits we need to strip in. Fairly thick wire now, alright, for a charge light. Probably have to go yellow for him, I'd say, the yellow connectors. Very strong wire, Christ above. It's like 230 volt weight. So yellow, small. I'll go and get the connector, come back. I haven't tidied things up a little bit. Put a bit of that automotive tape around things there. You know, the odd little place here just to root this out of the way as well there, to stop it getting caught in the bonnet catch. Same here, a bit of automotive tape there, here and there, just to keep things a little bit more snug along with the cable ties. So the next thing I want to do, everything has to be done in order of course, is to fit this tie gas tank. So I've loosened off the 7/16 bolt that's down there. It's also holding a bracket for the oil pressure pipe. So I just want to make sure this loom here now isn't all getting in the way of that going down there. Shouldn't be. Turn off the work lamp because it's not helping clean the towel, and we'll get a torch on the job. Have to root that down in there. There's a little, you can probably just see the head of the nut there. So that has to go down in there, and I have to then tighten it. It's a bit awkward to get into, I might have to go to the other side. So make sure it's going in behind. I have to straighten up this a bit, turn it in that way. Okay, there we go. Problem is it goes down too far. When you lift it up, then what happens is it comes up off it. So what I do is I usually put spacers in on top there. It's just a modern replacement part. They're not always the best fit. And then this should be bendable then to there, but I won't do that until I get that on. So we'll get 2 nuts, 2 bolts, a few washers and a few spacers. The little 7/16 bolt down below there a little bit. So what I do for a spacer with these, because these things can rattle like hell, so I use a gutter, some kind of gutter lads, roofing kind of rubber washer lads there, if you want to call them. Okay. And of course this has to be bent because it's a modern replacement part and it will not fit. So it's a little bit awkward sometimes to get the nut and the washer on there. I tighten these up full then, and I hope then it doesn't pull it out of the slot below, because it usually out of that bolt it can, and because they don't make them long enough, it still has a grip on it. So we'll just see. I think my spanner's still in there. It's really hard to get a. It's really hard to get socket in there. Maybe behind all that, you've got an oil pressure line there as well. What I will do before I do that, try and bend it down a bit to get it into that slot, into that nut and bolt. It's got to be lower than the bonnet as well, it seems to be there at the moment. This is going through a bracket for the oil pressure pipe as well, so it's good that it gets nipped up, stop it rubbing off things and starting to leak and all that. Okay, that's starting to feel good there. Take out the spanner. It's more than a little bit awkward, I can tell you that. That's what most of the the extra bits of the fuel system missing in this tractor, like the auxiliary tank and all of that. Right, so that's just needs a tightening here. Hopefully, as I said, it's not pulling it up from below there, out of that. No, it's not. Them rubber washers are ideal for under there. Okay, that's solid. So now what we can do is hitch her up to where that pipe needs to go. So it needs to be gravity fed, so we'll try and follow gravity in there. Then we can bend. I think it's 13, is it? Don't like it taking too serious an angle coming into it. Otherwise you'll never bloody seal them. Then we're going to have to clear. I'll keep the pressure forward there. I don't want to go creasing anything. We do have to go clearing. What's that? 11, is it? 11, 7/16 maybe. Let's see now what that is. Should be about 11 mil or 11/16. It could be 10, is it? So yeah, I'm trying to do everything in order here. So the air cleaner's next. I filled that with oil to the right level. It was way too high and it was sucking it into the intake manifold. That wasn't good, so we replaced that. So let's go and throw some fuel in there and see. It'll help the cold starting. I think I washed this one out. Yeah, actually spotless by. That's good, good. So this was used for coolant, so I'm just going to blow that out and wipe it out with white paper, and we'll start filling that. I like to strain the fuel going in there. The white paper folded over twice, and I don't want that heater plug blocking. It'll take a while for it to go down into it, but it will strain it. We'll make sure there's no leaks first, and it will take a while to go through, but at least you know you're not going to block the heater plug. It's a small jet in it. Okay, so we're leaking down below here, so I'll give that a nip up here. Okay, so we can take out that. She is running out. Why is that now? Pull over my drum there, collect it. We'll loosen it off. That's okay. Probably me putting it in a little bit offside as well. I can put a new olive on it if I have to anyway. I'll let that run out there anyway. It'll do no harm to clear the pipe anyway. Yeah, so it's not going in. Oh Jesus, there's a hole in the pipe. I'll have to cut that, isn't that a pity? To shorten it, put a new olive on it. That's all it's wrong. There's a hole in it there. Probably, I don't know, maybe it was in it, maybe I did it when I bent it there. Yeah, I probably did that myself. What harm? No biggie. At least it's not leaking at the bottle. Lovely. Okay, we probably have enough pipe there to repurpose it there. Hopefully. Okay. These things happen. Right. So I get my pipe cutters at that, and I think I have one here. We'll try and do a job on him. Just cut him above where he's cracked. This thing hasn't been used in an age. Probably gone seized, is it? Straighten him up a bit, I'd say, anyway. I want to make sure I don't go too, making it too short. Possible. Up there is about right. I think you don't want to go making them too short because it's only going to put pressure Pressure on everything else. Yeah, about there. These can take a while to work, but do give you a good cut. Okay, we'll get out our olives. We'll see what I get out the olives, so we'll see what we can do with him. Okay, so the new olive on, we've cut her to length. Hopefully that'll go on a bit better now. Isn't the greatest. I have more pipe there if I need anyway. It's just it's a little bit. So shove in the pipe first a little bit. They do like to go in straight, like that's the only thing I will say. And if there's any bit of bend in them, they can be a little bit contrary. So just see. We can spare a bit more of the length of the pipe. Should flare the end of that a little bit, just to stop it coming off. Yeah, that's better. Just to stop it coming off. Otherwise I can pull the bloody thing off straight away. Say we might just manage, it'll be tight. Fairly tight to get that lad to start treading. By Jesus, it's starting to look a bit skimpy, alright. So right up to the limit with this one, I think. Just trying to start him by hand. You know what happens when you start trying to tighten them up. She goes in on the wrong threads, and that's curtains. Curtains, boys. We'll tighten him in. We can do a little bit of manoeuvring around. Down. Needs to be able to make a new one, but it's pity now we're just talking a couple of mil. And this does have to be fairly tight, you know, in a way, with everything else that's going on. Okay, so nipping on this lad down here now. Hopefully he'll seal now with the new olive. Okay, will we try that? Will we try that? Strainer in. Let's get a bit of paper, something to wipe it off. At least this is all, the wires are all out of the way of everything. I like that. I like that. Slow enough straining, but look. If you fill this now, I can tell you it'll last a good while. Especially the way this thing's starting. Starting fantastic. And then we'll give it a dart and see. We'll actually be able to see it working. I'll get a torch. See what level that's up to there now, above the outlet. So I leave that drain, and what we'll do is we'll set up the camera then to see it working if this isn't leaking. Okay, let's turn on the heater plug now. That's it there. Now I can see it dimming the charge light. We should hear a bit of, should see a bit of smoke. Yeah, see it reddening up in there. And there's your fuel. You hear the guggle? Yeah, so ready to put the place on fire, but at least you know it works. So yeah, that's definitely getting fed anyway. So that sucks in a big flame into the engine, so that is fairly efficient. Brilliant. So we're sorting out the electrical gremlins. How's our leaks there? Are we gone dry? We are. Okay. So I'm just going to throw another sup of diesel on that, and that'll sort that. Brilliant. So we can put our air cleaner on then, and they'll get that much done. Okay, so this is the pipe that was on it, and it's all just, it's fairly well lit. So I have an original one here. This is an original pipe, but it's in great nick, and I find these aren't very fussy, to be honest with you. Obviously we don't want shite going in, but same time, it's not a pressurized pipe, it's a vacuum pipe. What I do first put on two better Jubilee clips as well. So put that on. Roughly in place there. Hopefully I'm not standing in the way the whole time. I do have a beautiful back and all, but I'll be sick of looking at it. Now, so I like to get this pipe in first and leave her hang there. And then I go and get the tools that I should have had already. And we put on our UNF half-inch bolts. A little bit tight for space in there sometimes. Sometimes you can be lucky, you can get them started by hand. Other times there's just too much going on. We've been trying to line up your hose pipe and everything else. And the fact that that lovely high gas tank you put on at the back there, the pipe is sticking that in the way as well. So a little bit, and of course putting the socket on is no good because it's only going to sit down onto the nut of the bolt. It's not actually going to push it into place. So just to get one start, it can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. I'm trying to think, I might have to put something in the socket to help push this in. Visibility in there and actual space isn't great. Yeah, so I'll have a play around with that and I'll come back when that's on. Okay. Right. That's that on. Some Jubilee clamps now. 7mm socket does the trick. Line them up. That'll tidy that up lovely. Getting ready for the mushroom lad pre-filter, whatever you want to call it, intake. That's a lovely pipe, that. Right, so that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Nice jubilee there. Okay. Hose clamp, whatever you want to call it. Right. For next bit, we had to do a bit of work on this. If you weren't watching the earlier videos, I was missing the bracket. I think when you buy them new and you get that threaded rod, and I was missing some jubilees as well. So we take out our bolt gun to the starter. This had nothing on it. It was actually, this pipe was actually probably about to fall off, to be honest. Well, I think they're fairly expensive new as well. Okay. Okay, so we need to get 9/16 on the socket side. Need to take off our exhaust U-bend nut. Get ready for that bracket to go in there. It's usually a bit of bending and pulling and huffing and puffing involved in this now, but we've got two brackets on this pipe to line up. So I got everything kind of loosened. At the end of this bracket. Okay, so we'll put that on first. We'll work back from there. Okay, so far so good. A bit of manufacturing of that bracket worked well. Let me get down a bit closer. So that's all I'm doing there now at the moment. Firing on that bracket there. Just keep everything a bit more neater, and this was hitting the exhaust manifold there and scratching and all of that. So now we've got to try and push that up to get our bolt in there. So nice 11/16 UNF fine thread bolt coming through. So up a little bit, there we go. So we'll have to get an 11/16 on the job as well, but just one final little nip on the U-bend. Okay. Thread that in a little bit, and thread through it, rather than bend it. Our spring washer and our nut. That's that. Then sitting where it wants to be, and where it needs to be. This is the nut going on a little bit wrong, I think it is. Yeah, there we go. Right, I'll get a spanner for that when we're at it. Okay, that walks up. That's good and tight there. And push that in. Loosen off our clamp. That's actually a flathead one. We'll get a flathead screwdriver like that. Nice and solid now. Over engineered now, when you consider all I was doing, just a little curved pipe. But it'll look a lot neater now. It's a nice painted part, so we don't want it scratching off the manifold, and we don't want it falling off, but that's exactly where it was going to go, like. There's no doubt about that. No hose clamps, and vibrations and all of that. It's only going one way. Straighten them up a bit. Okay. This had no hose clamp on it as well. Nice stainless steel going on it now. Lovely. So that is, tell you what lads, you nearly bring out on holidays with you. she is solid. Okay, so we have a 10 mil there somewhere, I presume. I'll just give the lads there on the nuts and bolts on the end of that, going into that bracket, just a nip, because I have some each side. Just give them a fine little nip. Once we have everything in place, that'll just crown it. There's a nice rubber washer there as well, so that'll behind him, so that will just stop the rattling and all that mess. So that is nice, so I'm happy with that. Our high gas, we're still dry, seems to be, while we have our 10 in our hand. We'll just give this another little last, doesn't even need it. We'll do another fuel level in there. Okay, so our high gas tank is after getting a nice sup of fuel there. Strained, as I said, is the only way for that. It was working as well. I don't know, did you see the flames? Make sure now that this vent is clear. You can see the light up through it there. There we go. Otherwise, peeing against the wind, as they say. Some of these can be really, the threads can get really tight in them, so there we go. Doesn't need to be savage tight. Right, and they don't need to be full up either, because I find they just splash. There's no real seal on them. So up to now, of course, it was run without any air intake, so it was loud. So we've tidied up the wiring this evening a little bit, right? I'm going to continue with that. We've got to run down our lights, so I will pick a nice route there. I have sticky on kind of lads that have little kind of clips on them if I have to route along there. Again, this is just more to get it functional and safe. So yeah, the earth for the light was not good, so it's bolted on there in there, ringlet. Our horn is there, it's not rattling against anything. It's working. We got our ammeter working. It's not coming on with ignition as it shouldn't. I give that just lens a little bit. It was covered in paint, so I might scratch off the rest of that around there as well. I'll pull it off and just give it a scratch, get the paint off and look a bit better. That's finishing touch kind of stuff. We tightened up this. It was only a matter of them lads in there just giving them a nip of snouty pliers, because they really were loose, and I'd say this would have ended up, well, the bits might have fallen off the back of it. So just a little snouty pliers there, and they are kind of finger nuts, you know, finger tight nuts, but just it's meant to be spring washers on them. So our wiring is a little bit safer. We fiddle with that as well. Remember, we had to go adjusting that. I am half frightened of checking around here for water, to be honest with you. But we'll say nothing yet. I'm not 100% happy with this pipe as well. I think it's just really stretched at the top. It could be okay, maybe it was just water leaking down. I thought we might have a fuel leak there yesterday, so I blew it back with the air gun. I probably think we do have a fuel leak. There was a bit of work done there before, so it's starting to look a little bit dirty up in there already now. Yeah, it's diesel, it's not fucking water. So I might take off the tank and do a little bit of work on that. Find out where it's coming from. It nearly looks like it's separating in there. So I might have to do a little bit of work on that at some point. But for now, at least, we've got a nice few enjoyable little bits done. It's starting to look a bit more complete. I'm happy about the ammeter. It wasn't something he asked me to do, but I think it definitely adds something to it, and it's nice to have everything in the dash working. Our heater plug is working lovely. That started well considering it was on tick over. A little rev on our charging system to kick in. She'll horse out 15 amps now until she's charged. And you literally see that coming back. I have to say the oil pressure is good now in this tractor. You see it coming back now, it was up in 15, so it's coming back as battery's getting charged. So that charging system's working very well. So I'm happy with that. The charging light comes on, so it's not charging there. A little bit of a rev. Exactly as you expect, revs don't make any difference on an alternator. It alternates the current. So that battery basically is telling me it's fully charged. So I would be very happy with that. It started in the absolute tick over position there. So to be honest with you, it's starting as well as any 20 diesel I've seen reconditioned even, you know. So that's just another little work job I might have to do. I have some JB weld there. I would like to see an overflow pipe on that, right up on the coolant anyway. Whether it holds its coolant when we get up to temperature is another thing. So yeah, we have our little bracket on as well. So yeah, I'm getting to the point now, I'm enjoying that now. We do have a bit of messing to do. I'm kind of locating one of them and a few bits and pieces like that. But from this side of the engine anyway, we're as complete as we're going to be in this project. And more than anything else, and most importantly, I'm enjoying it. And I don't think I'm making too much of a mess of it, to be honest with you. I think we're getting through things. I would have done things slightly differently myself if I had more time, like completely rewiring it. But look, it might look a bit tidier, but at the end of the day, I've checked all the connections off camera. I've squeezed them, I've cleaned. I might still fit a new key ignition in it because I have loads of them there. I don't really like the feel of it, but that's finishing touch kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying the project. I hope to be able to take it out for a test drive soon. Now I'm kind of getting to the point where I should be able to. I'll just adjust the clutch for that, and we'll see what the brakes are like in the driveway. If they're dangerous, I'll just do a quick adjustment on them. I will get in there fully one of the days. But look, I think I'll leave there for this evening. So, míle baichos as fechen door an bhí seán, and we'll see you at the next one.